here's for follow through. My previous video just before this today, I said I was going to make 2 videos because I don't know how to flip the camera back and forth. And plus, I can only make videos that are so long because this phone, the storage is kind of running out. But I just wanted to get back on here and about the issue that I brought up last week. I seem to have, I got a lot of mixed reviews on it. Some were like, gee, thanks for, sharing this, and you made your point very well. Others were very upset that I put it out there and, are asked me to take it down. I'm not going to take it down because, it's helping, some people. But I do want to say, first and foremost, that I am really sorry. That please forgive me about the attitude that came across in that video. It was really obvious. I was still really hurt, and I should have waited before I talked about it like that openly. I had a marvelous dinner with, a beautiful couple, and then I came and I made that video, and I should have, gotten over it a little bit more before I put it out there like that. So I'm sorry about my attitude. And the bottom line in that video was just the fact that, when we handle things how Jesus laid out, it just goes better. Fewer people get hurt, if hurt at all. And a lot of times it works out for the better. Other times, people, part ways, and that's fine too. Imagine that the master of the universe would know how to tell us how, these things should be handled. You got an issue with somebody, you go to him first, or her first, in private. And if that doesn't work, then you go get the pastor and go to that person. It just, had it been done like that, even if the people didn't want to come to me directly, but with the pastor the first time, that's fine too. And, the only issue I had was that, people were complaining about me behind my back and didn't have the respect and the care to come to me. And I think my attitude kind of was a little strong, and it didn't, I don't know if that came out clearly for a lot of people, but that was my only point for putting out that video last week. But I had a beautiful time at our evening service for our Christmas service last Sunday evening. It was just absolutely amazing. We were packed out with a lot of beautiful people, and everybody genuinely seemed to have a really nice time, and that was really nice. And I can only pray and hope that I can be as much a blessing to them as they are for me, because just being around them like that. We had great service. Pastor, of course, was amazing as usual. And boy, he was really dressed up. It was awesome. It was just beautiful. I felt bad that I ended up wearing just jeans and a sweatshirt, but it was just, and then we had cookies and coffee in the fellowship hall afterwards, and just time of sharing, and it was just nice. And it's nice to have that. I haven't had that so long in my life that, maybe that's why I'm making such a big deal about it, but I think we should make a big deal about it, cherish those moments. But anyway, I also wanted to come on here and, it's been made apparent to me that some people have some issues with the lifestyle choices that I have made. So I'm hoping to, one, if any of them watch this, they will gain an understanding and stop bringing up repetitive scenarios after I've already, very politely made myself clear. And also hopefully stop looking at me like nobody's said this directly, and well, actually one person did say told me this little story about some guy they used to call Ivan the Idiot. And I'm like, well, this sounds like you're telling me that I'm, being stupid. And he says, well, yeah, pretty much. And, my son has face tattoos. I think it's sad because he is, a very handsome man. I don't like it. Other people do. And that's okay. I'm not going to remind him about it. He knows how I feel about it. And I just make it absolutely clear to him that I love him anyway. And I'm going to keep on loving him. And I can't wait to see that tattooed face again very soon. Stuff like that. It's like, it just seems so hard for so many people to just get past what they think other people should be doing. So, on that note, I'm going to explain a little bit as to why I've made the choices that I've made. I'm living in a bus. I was living in my car. Very soon, it'll be exactly 4 months. In just a few days, this coming week, it'll be, excuse me, exactly 4 months since I have been without a regular house. I don't consider myself homeless because my home is in heaven. And, just like Paul said, I can be content in all circumstances. I've been through worse, and the things that the Lord has built in me, I just wish people could see that instead of, oh my gosh, that's really stupid. You're living in a bus and burning all this fuel. Well, FYI, it would cost more to pay rent at a campground to plug in than it does to put fuel in this thing each month. I've done the figures. I've done the research. Oh my gosh, I have a brain and I know how to do. I'm one of the most nerdy people I know, and I research the heck out of almost anything that I do before I do it. I mean, it's not like I had a lot of time when I had 1 week to pack everything in my home, my 1,400 square foot home that had a lot of stuff in it, and I packed it, by God's grace, all by myself. The only thing that I had help moving was the big furniture. And I still had to leave a few things. My freezer in the basement, my practically brand new refrigerator, my dryer. I mean, I had stuff in the garage left over from a garage sale and other things that just didn't fit. Now I'm paying $150 a month for a big storage shed full of stuff that most of it I can't wait to sell or donate or whatever the heck, however, whatever avenue God provides that I can unload this stuff. Because, God only knows when I'm going to be able to use any of that again, and I don't want to be, wasting money to store it somewhere. The only piece of furniture that I really want to keep is my grandmother's buffet. That my grandfather found it in an old chicken coop when my dad was 5 years old. And, that's in my dolls, stuff like that. Of course, photos and stuff, because, I still have physical photos, and, I was doing scrapbooks and stuff. But, other than that, there's just not really anything in that storage unit I want to keep. And it's not selling fast enough because, I'm one of those, let's get it done now. But the choices that I've made, first and foremost, I believe I am exactly where God wants me right now. Had He intended for me to move in with a friend, that's where I'd be. It would have been, he would have directed, and then I would have heeded his direction. There's a lot of people that have said, hey, it gets too cold or whatever, you can, I've got a room here. And I'm talking women and beautiful people, but I have a dog that doesn't get along with anybody but me. And everybody knows that. And what, am I going to leave her in the cold and go sleep in a home? No, I'm not going to do that. And I shut the bus off for a little bit last night, and it did get pretty cold, and she, woke me up whining at me saying, turn the daggone thing on because it's chilly in here. So, I'm not, there's a lot of things that I really shouldn't have to explain myself, especially over and over and over again. It just complicates, it puts unnecessary complications in a life that's already a little complicated, if you hadn't noticed. But I don't mind living in the bus. The other reasons, I believe that I've been doing the best with what I have to work with. I'm, hopefully very soon, this week gonna be able to get back to doing some real work. I did some stuff online that was doing really well for a bit until I had to get out of my house, and even that, I remember for years. I mean, I used to be a private investigator. I had my own business, and it wasn't mucho dinero or really lucrative, but it paid the bills, and I had a savings and was able to take care of what I needed to take care of. I was fine. And my mom always used to tell me, go get a job. Well, I was working. I was making more than she was getting in retirement, and I just. But it was, and it was all online. I'd get the notice to go pick up the documents and stuff, or print them out and go deliver them, because I did a lot of service of process, or I'd get an order for, I did a lot of property checks and stuff. So I mean, I it seems for a very long time there's a lot of people that just think I should be living some certain way, and because I don't agree with that and I make other choices, I'm treated differently. And that's wrong in all sorts of ways, but I didn't come on here to, start complaining at you again. I just gonna explain, gosh darn it, I don't know what this is. It keeps popping up, but I hope it doesn't show in the video. But the lifestyle choices that I've made. First and foremost, I am absolutely confidently certain that I am exactly where God wants me. No ifs, ands, or buts, no doubt in my mind. Next on the list is the fact that I really enjoy the solitude. I get up in the morning and it's just the Lord and me and my dog. Don't I deserve it, that much? I don't need to be parked in somebody's driveway with, people passing by constantly. And that's what I'm waking up to every day, and then stressing out my dog and because they have a dog. And it just because I'm not making choices on what you think I should do does not mean I have not thought all these things through. And again, I enjoy the solitude. I think I mentioned just a little bit ago, if I were to go park in a campground, which I might do at some point, maybe in this summer or something, but it would cost me more to rent a spot at a campground than it is to keep putting fuel in this thing. I think the logical decision is to not rent a spot at a campground and just keep putting fuel in this thing. I don't know. I'm called stupid because I won't do that. Or there's another person that is a man that keeps reminding me that that he has a room in his house and it wouldn't cost him more to heat the place and blah blah blah. And I've made myself clear for months now. I've made myself clear that I am not going to live with a man that is not my husband. And on top of that, in addition to that, I have a dog that gets along with no one but me. What am I going to do with her? It's just, I'm not going to compromise the principles that I know to be true, that, again, the Lord laid out to satisfy somebody, because they think that's the smart choice. Well, it's not smart to go against how God designed things, number one. And I don't have all that down pat, but I ain't going to backtrack either. The stuff that I do have down pat, I am not going backwards. And it's just, I mean, can't it be that simple? That I enjoy where I am right now? The only thing that I don't enjoy is I'm not looking forward to, planting a garden this spring yet. I mean, God could change that too. And Hanani can't run and chase a ball. And I need to get back to doing some real work, which, God willing, very soon here I'll be able to do. Those are the only three things that I do not enjoy about living in this bus. And whether you can wrap your mind around that or not, you know, I pray you can. I mean, if it's important to you, work on it. If not, then just blow this video off. I mean, no harm, no foul on any of that. But stop giving me grief about it. And I mean, if you're watching this, you know who you are. And please, anybody, because I've made a couple videos that people are like, oh, she's talking to me and stuff. If you think I'm talking about you, then say something down in the comments, or, you know, send me a text if you don't want to put it in the comments. Come to me directly, because I think it's really petty to say, well, I think Lynette's mad at me, so instead of going to Lynette, I'm going to go talk to this person over here and tell them all about it. I have absolutely zero tolerance for pettiness, and that is petty. I don't love you any less, but that just, stuff like that just does not need to be. Let's stop complicating life. Life is complicated enough. And on that note, we're at 16 minutes, so I think I better end this babble here. And I hope you guys can see that I don't babble without intent. And my intent is always to help. It might not always be fluffy and cheery, but it's always done with love, even when I have an attitude. God bless you, and I hope you had a fabulous Christmas and that you will have a start to a beautiful new year.